There we go. Yeah, you got
It's
the
the vibes.
frequency
It's the
high right
vibes,
now,
man.
okay? You got the you got
Super
you got the
right
frequency
beat.
all the way up here right now, man. Setting the tone, King. Setting the tone, King.
Yeah,
Ain't
right
going
where you need
nowhere.
to be
Setting the
at,
tone.
man.
Man, I'm so excited, man, to talk to you tonight, King. I know you moving. I know you on the road, so I appreciate you uh, for tapping in with me and, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, talking to the people, man, for a minute, man. Hey, Vaughn, we lost him. We lost him. Hey, Vaughn, send me another request. If you on Wi-Fi, right? If your Wi-Fi is turned on, wherever you at, just turn it off. Because sometimes, like if you outside, it'll try to run from it'll try to, your server try to pull from your Wi-Fi. You're not connected to Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that
Technical
might blow a little
difficulties.
technical
Listen, they
difficulties.
you know how it is, man. We about to have a dope conversation, man. You know how it goes. The frequency. We trying to interfere with the frequency. Yeah, King. This is our first time talking. First time you on my show. So for the people out there, for people that may not know a little bit about your history, I want to tap in just a little bit before we come to what you got going on at the moment. Um, what record, right? I always, when it comes to hip hop and being from the mecca of hip hop yourself and myself, what song, what track you heard that just made you fall in love, you know what I mean, with this thing and made you want to work in music, like in general? What kind of triggered that for you?
It's a lot of. I would say the era of. I would say the '90s, the '90s
Mm-hmm.
era of music, collectively. Because there was a lot of sampling going on, a lot of drums, a lot of just different type of hip hop going on at the time. Like everybody had their own type of vibe, and. So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to
And
say
then
like the '90s.
you kind of started branching on the scene, what, 90 what? Give me a kind of year. Like before the Big L
Um,
record, like what?
whoa. Before the Big L record, yeah, I was in a group in '92. I was in a group, independent group, signed to Kev Childs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we did a few. We did like 2 videos, hosted BT, Rap
Mm-hmm.
City. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of where it all started from. Then Kev got incarcerated, and I got a hold of the equipment and just started teaching myself how to make
Wait.
beats
So
and ran
you
into Big
started
L.
out as an artist first, and then you went on the producer side.
Yeah,
God, you never knew that. Never knew that.
yeah,
So
yeah. And when I artist side, I was kind of like was curious at how the beats was made, and then we had a producer, and I was like, yo, if I get a chance to make our
mhm.
beats, I know what to make. So when he got when our manager at the time got locked, our CEO got locked up, I kind of got the equipment, and then I
And it
started
will go
teaching
from there.
myself.
And then your first major placement was Big L, Ebonics. One of my favorite
Ebonics.
joints from Big L, by the way. What was it like
Yeah.
working with Big L and Q Cole? Any favorite memories of that time? Rest in peace, Big L, by the way.
He's super down to earth, crack jokes, be real about his life and what was going on at the time. I remember when he was like, "Yo, we gotta take the train to go to the studio." I'm like, "All right, whatever, let's go." So I was on the train with my equipment, my MPC, and we just. It was very short though, but at that time, I just remember him like we just kept going to different like studios. He was just bringing me to mad different studios, just laying stuff down. And
Sure,
yeah,
yeah,
it was very
yeah, yeah.
short
Your
though.
eyes. Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, but Dame Dash was, he was like, yo, I'm about to sign a Rockefeller. It's
Wow.
about to be lit. And he
Mm-hmm.
was excited about that part. You know what I mean?
Before we move forward, what's some of the producers, right? What's some of the producers that you studied and inspires you at that time that you was paying attention to, like when you picked up the board and you started making beats. What's some of the guys you were like looking at?
Like Diamond
Mm.
D, Havoc, of course Dre, um,
Mm.
Premier, um, Heat Rock.
I'm glad you mentioned Havoc too because I don't think he get
Um,
his powers enough.
Havoc, he,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he curated the whole Mobb Deep sound. Um, yeah, name a few, but then the other producers came in that was inspirational, like the
Mm-hmm.
Swisses, the Timberlands, the Pharrells. So it was a combination of all of them guys. So I kind of feel like I am the combination
Mm-hmm.
of all of them. You know what I mean? Grease. Shout
Mm-hmm.
out to Grease, dope producer. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Digger. Yeah, so I kind of feel like I'm a combination of
All right,
all
so
of them.
you moving, you producing records, you work with Big Al, and then the monster come, right? The ether, and you know what I mean, and you know, like that's one of the most iconic hip hop records, diss records, whatever you want to category it as, um, of that we've ever heard, right? Walk us through how this thing came about, like how the call came in, like how did that whole thing come together, man?
So right after Ebonics, people, you remember you had to read the tape to see who did the production and the CD. And this guy named Fuzz at the time, he seen the back of the Big L joints, and he's like, "Oh," ran to me like, "Yo, you did the Big L joints?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he kind of worked in the Def Jam building. If people remember, if you worked in the Def Jam building, it had all the sub labels in there. It had like Outcast Management in there, it had Rockefeller, it had Murder Inc., had all of in one. So if you shopping beats, you could go to one floor, yo, give it to Murder
Walk the
Inc. You could
ladder.
go to this floor, give it to
Mm-hmm.
Rockefeller, go to this floor, give it to Disturbing the Peace. So that was going on. So my manager at the time, he bumped into Nas' travel agent. So back, you couldn't give artists beats at that time. Like,
Throw your
they'd
shit
be
on the
like,
ground.
fuck out
So
of
you
here.
had to
Like,
go
who
to
is this nigga?
somebody that
Like,
you had to go to that knew somebody.
yeah. So he went, we bumped into Nas' travel agent and like, yo, can you pass Nas? And she passed it to Nas. And we got a call like, yo, Nas picked number 17. I'm like, yeah, right. That nigga picked goddamn number 17. And I mean, yeah, I was on Lenox Avenue and I got the call. Then they say he picked it, but then it was like that was like in the summertime. And then I got a call in the wintertime, like, yo, Nas wants you to come hear the record. So I go to the studio. He's calm. He's relaxed. It's just him and the engineer. He's chilling, eating fruit.
Real lavish, real
So I'm
lavish.
gonna play a regular. Yeah, like I think he's gonna just play a regular record. And he plays it, and it's this. And it got the fuck Jay-Z at the beginning. I was like, I didn't put that there, but okay, as we got to rush. You know what I'm saying? So he plays it, and I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. This is hot.
Like I'm
But
never
I'm
gonna
like,
be able to work with
it's
Jay
a
after
diss
this.
record. You know what I'm saying? Basically. But I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right,
I didn't
right.
I didn't write the lyrics, so whatever the case may be, he like, yo, this is dropping on Friday. It's about to be crazy. And it drops and it shuts the city down. Hot 97 do the whole thing with just playing those two records that day. And I was like, yo, this is kind of crazy.
Wow.
This is kind of crazy.
That's monster. That's monstrous. When you get the call in the summertime and then you get the call again, the follow up. You have no idea what's about to fucking happen,
No.
and
Yeah.
it's one of the best hip hop diss records ever.
No. Yeah.
And everybody's calling after that.
Yeah. Like, yo.
No.
No. Because nobody else. So my manager at the time, like, you're wrong. You got to go out. We got to go out. And at that time, the New York club scene was lit. So as I started going out,
you was moving in the record labels, right? Putting the beat, giving them the beats, but you wasn't moving in the clubs. That wasn't your vibe. That wasn't the scene.
No. Yeah, I was like, studio just working, and he was like, yo, we got to go out. We got to go because they don't know your face. They don't know who you are. And I ain't have a tag, like every producer got the tag on the beats now. Tag and none of that. So we just start going out and you won't. Yo, I want to work. And then that's when all the other records started to happen. The blow it out, the blow it out your ass for Ludacris. That I whip your head boy for 50 Cent. I get crazy for Nicki Minaj. Straight out of Southside for G Unit, the DMX stuff, all of that stuff. Just the Fat Joe, we run this.
Another one.
All that stuff just started happening right after that.
This next, I'm gonna ask you, right, because you're a producer and you're an artist as well. So I'm gonna ask you this question from both sides. What do you think, right? What do you consider the must-have qualities? You know what I mean, of delivering a hit record? Because I think that the game is like totally different nowadays. And I don't want to sound old or anything like that, but I really think that it's like 20% talent, 80% top politics. That's the way I personally feel. And it's no disrespect to anybody, but what do you think?
The hit
Qualities.
No, a hit is something that's catchy. That it sounds almost like as soon as you hear it, it stays. Whether it got to be something clever, either the beat or something in the hook that's so catchy that it catches people and people can relate to it. When I made Pop Champagne, it was so relatable at the time because people were just, the New York nightlife was booming. People, popping champagne and that whole energy. So it worked. It was catchy with that. So if you just think about hit records, it'd be something either in the melody, something people could relate to, or something catchy in the way that the frequency of the beat,
the pop
hit you.
The Pop Champagne stopped the city.
Those things.
Hey, people, listen. I think you should have got a check from every club for that. Whether you were booked there, whether you weren't booked there, you should have got a check from every club for that because the champagne value. Because you remember, like at one point, people stopped really drinking champagne like that. Like if you wasn't drinking Ace of Spades or you wasn't drinking like Dom P or something like that, people stopped drinking the champagne a little bit. And I feel like once that like spun around, everybody wanted to.
A lot of people.
Yes,
people was on a Grey Goose at the time.
It was a different kind of energy.
Yeah.
You produced for so many artists, right? Yeah. Was there ever a record that you like presented to an artist, right, and they may have overlooked it or passed on it, and then someone else picked it up and it became something? Or you kept it for yourself and made it something?
Yeah. I Whoop Your Head Boy for 50 Cent. I think Lil Flip was gonna get it, but I think he probably passed on it. I'm sure there's a bunch of joints that people probably passed on. But I know that I Whip Your Head Boy was one of them. Lil Flip kind of passed up on that.
That was a good one. This next question I want to ask you, right, is from like the producer side, because I feel often that producers don't get the credit that they deserve. Like you said, in order for you to be kind of known for ether, you had to go out there and put your face out there, right? Because producers often are not highlighted on the front end, and often like disrespected. You know what I mean? When it comes down to the business and different things like that, we've heard it time and time again. Have You know, have you ever like,
Yeah.
because you know the financial credit, the credit in or the financial gain that, you know what I mean, that producers deserve. Have you ever experienced this, like working in the industry? And what advice could you give to other producers, aspiring producers that may be watching out there, that so they don't go down that path and make some of the same mistakes you may have?
Lawyer out the gate, like out the gate, you better have a
Mm-hmm.
lawyer who knows what you deserve, and that's mainly what it's about. You know, when I first did the Big L stuff, I didn't know what was going on, and you know, his album went gold, and I remember seeing my guy, shout out to my guy, M3, my man Derek. He was like, "Yo, you got royalties and all that." I'm like, "Where?" He said, "Yo, the Big L joint went gold. You're bugging. Yo, I'm gonna get you a lawyer, man, so you could get what you do." After I got the lawyer, then I kind of started to understand the business with, you know, royalties, mechanical royalties, publishing, you know, your writer's share. So then I started. So ever since then, I was like, "Oh, I know everything moving forward." Producer decks
Mm-hmm.
is supposed to be in play now. You know what I mean? So you could get your points, your
Yeah, because
royalties,
often
and your
you would think,
publishing.
just
You
think,
know what I'm saying?
you would think, right? The average person may think, okay, as a producer, you just get paid for the beat, and then the artist take the beat, and the business is done.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You don't think about the long
Oh,
run of your work,
pay for
and,
this.
and what you're supposed to get years from now. Um,
Yeah.
you know, you from New York and you've been moving for a long time, and you've seen different sounds come in, come and go. Um, and like I was saying before, I feel like current day we're not getting as much talent in hip hop anymore. And you know, and Puff said it. You saw Puff said it that New York is in last place. You know what I mean? And that we need to step it up. Is this something that you feel is true? Cause I think I saw you share it as well. This is a statement you can agree upon.
Um, yeah, because our parties, we party different from other towns. Like our,
Mm.
we just party different. You know what I mean? Energy is different. So when the New York artists start to take on other areas sound, we kind of
Mm.
lost what we do. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's not saying that you
Frequencies.
can't party to other frequencies, but we had our own frequency, and we like, oh, yo, this is, this is lit. Versus, like, if I go get some West Coast beats, not saying that, you can't, pin a West Coast record, but they frequency is match. It just matches what they do, and they lifestyle. So we got the same thing, like, from how we dress to how, what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
how we talk and everything. The music all matches too. So we kind of lost that thing
Facts.
that was us. You know what I mean? Because we started doing other frequencies and other people's sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And it
that
after
was
this,
other people's
and
sounds.
now it's
You
just
know what I
like
mean?
that's just people. I think people have got forgotten
Yeah.
the way. And,
But if you go to a club, right? The fun part of the night is when the DJ are playing the throwback records from the I made our records from that
right,
were
more money, more
when
problems.
we
That's
was
not a
doing
not
us.
the
You know, and back to those records, some new records. Then once you go to the old DJs, go to the old records, you're
mm-hmm.
like, oh, you in your element. You know, whether it's Jay-Z records, DMX records, Dipset records or whatever, you just be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh,
Right, right,
the vibe.
right,
This is
right.
the vibe. You
Speaking
know what
of
I mean?
Puff, right? This Gotta Move On remix. Um, we got to
Mm-hmm.
walk through this thing, right? Because like it was like a timeline of events that we've seen. Like 2 weeks ago, we hear
Yes,
Flex play a
was.
snippet Like, right?
No, no.
That's when I first heard.
Oh no, 4 weeks ago I posted the beat blog
Correct.
of me doing it. It's the beat
Correct.
blog of me doing it on 42nd Street. And when I did the beat blog on 42nd Street, and honest, it was just the hook. I was just messing with the hook. To put the full I didn't want to put the full record in my drum machine, so I just did the hook and was hook on 42nd Street. And DJs was like, yo, let me get that version. So I had to, then now I had to piece together a full version of it. So I pieced together the full version of it, and DJs was like, let me get that. And I just was like, all right, gave it to him. And then I think, Enough and Flex had that a day where they battle who got the dopest exclusives. And I played it, and he's like, yo, what's that? Like, and that happened. And then after that, that's when Flex got a hold of it and made the whole movie.
Played it. He said, yo, Puff, 50K. Ron Browz need 50,000. Right? So he guaranteed the check. Yeah. And he said, Ron need 50,000 and we need to make this the official remix. Next thing I know, Puff is in New York, and it's some. I don't want to go too far. But next thing I know, we see it.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Flex goes crazy. Then Puff hit me that night, like, yo, what we doing? And then I'm like, yo, let's put it together. And you know what's crazy? He moved like he never, like a, what's the word I want to use? Like an inspiring artist. Like he moves like a new artist. He was like, yo, I'm in the studio right now. And I'm like, I'm going to the studio right now and get this done. Like I spoke to him, like, yo, I'm going to the studio right now and getting this done tonight. He called me an hour later with Young Miami on it. Then called me again, Shanti on there. And then he was like, yo, what else you think you need? I said, we need Will Tracks on there to do that intro.
I love that.
And
Will.
Shout out to Will Tracks. I said, we need Will Tracks. Like, well, let's get him. He said, get him tonight. I'm like, yo, it's like 2 o'clock. He sleep. He said, man, y'all sleep out there in New York. Like, yo, stop, man. Like, let's get to it. And yo, 8 in the morning, he was, yo, you got the, yo, will you and Will going to the studio? I'm like, yo, yeah, we gonna be like, when I say moving hungry, you gotta keep that hunger. Like you don't gotta down, man. He moving like that. Like,
so
get it done.
24 hours, that joint was placed.
I'm done. He called 8 in the morning. Yo, you and Will going to the studio? Yeah. All right, let's get it done. And I was like, you would think somebody of that stature would be like kind of relaxed on getting stuff done. What he needs
to do. You know what I mean? The original record, and
he was on it like a new artist. I was like, wow. Like, if I think that some artists are lazy. You know what I'm saying? The way he moved with that, and it gave me a whole nother perspective. Like, yo, you gotta be out here moving like you a new artist, man. Like you never had nothing. You know what I mean? And I always kind of keep that same energy, but he was on it. He was definitely on it. And then I heard the final version. Like, yo, this frequency is different right here. It got a lot of elements to it. It got the party, it got the R&B. Then you got Miami doing the rap. It's
so New York at the same time. And I read somewhere that you said that you don't like to have a signature sound, Juan. But when I read somewhere, and I don't know if this is true or not, that you said that you don't like to have a signature sound. You like to keep elevating and keep moving. But when you hear the beat,
yeah,
you know it's the Ether
yeah,
Boy.
you know.
You don't.
Yeah, I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
because versatile. I like versatile, but when you hear it, they be like, "Yo,
you hear the
Ron did
drums, you
that."
hear it
Like,
off the
you know,
rip. You hear it.
yeah,
You hear it. You hear it. And then it's stamped with world tracks, man. So,
yeah.
I love it. And then we see that after the Dean, right? The party at the Dean, something spectacular happened. And I don't know what the
You
timeline
said
was, but I know that you guys,
after the what?
you Will Tracks and Puff in a photo. You and Shanti in a photo. So
Yeah.
we already know what's coming.
Oh yeah,
We already know.
video. The video. Yo, let me tell you something. Son was like, "Yo, video today."
And
Yo,
to be correct,
now?
this is after the party, right? That's crazy. After
the next day. Hey, yo, today?
Get up.
Yo, me and Will had to, yo, I'm like, nah, son, is serious. Like, it's time to go. Like, ain't no procrastinating, and that, let me know, don't procrastinate. Just do it. He was on, he gave out, I watched that man get like 50 bottles out at that party.
Easy. That's definitely ain't no party at the Diddy party. For sure. I done been in them spaces. I done been in love. It's different.
Yeah. I felt like, I was like, this is how New York used to, you know what I mean? The club scene and the fun. You know, I felt like New York stopped having fun in the club. Like, yeah. So when that record come on, you gotta dance, man. Oh, we dance, we have fun, drink, laugh, smile. But if you don't got a bunch of music, listen, when you go party uptown Harlem, the BX, you're gonna party. People gonna be dancing, they gonna be free. You know, New York used to be like that in the club. People used to be free before everybody like this and all of that. You know, but if the soundtrack of the club is not giving that, then of course people going, but you play some party music, people gonna have fun. But if you playing like mediocre records that nobody really can enjoy, then you gonna get
everybody else, right? If we doing everybody else and we're not doing us, that's what you gonna get. Reality.
Yeah. But when you play when you uptown and you play my records, you play Will records, you play like shout out to Boogie Black, you play these records, people are having fun. You don't got no time to be
I've seen people on their phone like this the whole night long, and let She Don't Like Me come on. Let Pop Champagne come on. Let Shine a Light on Him come on. Let Blame It on Penny come on.
Yeah, you. It's just, and you know what? I wanted to bring shout out to all the DJs. I see my man Pop a lot on the check-in. All the DJs uptown Harlem, uptown Bronx. I just wanted to bring that energy to that whole vibe, that whole energy of people still partying, and just put it in. That's what that record is. I just put that there.
Definitely.
And this is what we're gonna do.
For sure.
And I missed that. And She Don't Like Me got that same effect. Like people gonna dance and they gonna have fun. You know what I mean? You like a gangster told me one time, like gangsters ain't gangsters 24 hours, man. They be with their ladies sometime, they be with their families.
You be able to
you can party sometime too. Like me mugging all day. Like you gonna laugh.
I done seen gangsters in the club when She Don't Like Me come on and start moving. Shine a light on them, come on. Gotta move on. Niggas in the club like, she don't want my love.
Yeah.
Like, word, nigga? Word? That's how you feel. You know what I mean? So it's true. It's true. When you bring in that frequency, man. Yeah.
Then it's of music where dudes are dancing with their dudes. I
Gotta
don't
stop
when
it.
we
Gotta
start
stop it.
doing
It
that.
stops
Like
today.
we used dancing with the girls, and that was what when we like dance. I don't want to dance with my
Man, niggas get a
homeboy who I
circle.
came to the club with. Get out of here.
Niggas get a circle with no
I
females in the circle. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Nah, don't play no music where I feel like I want to dance with my homeboys. I don't want to get that hell out of here, man. Play me some music so I can watch some girls dance,
I don't think it's no
drink,
record I've
have
ever
some
heard
fun,
that made
man.
me say, I want to dance with my homie. I don't think it's no record I've ever heard that say, yo, bro, let's do it.
There's free out there that people don't want to dance with girls, man. It'd be like weird groups, man.
The frequency is different.
Yeah.
Frequency, they're on a different frequency. No disrespect. They're on a different frequency. We got love for those people too, Ron.
Yeah. And all Puff was saying, like, we gotta lift the frequency like higher.
Yeah, because we
you know what I'm saying? I don't keep hearing sad music in the club. I don't want to hear it.
What would you say, you know, out of all the records you produce, what would you say is one of your most like successful, cherished like placements? Whether it be one of your own records or something you did for somebody else, what would you say? Something that you hold dear to you.
I'm not gonna lie, like I Whip Your Head Boy was special because it's in 50 Cent movie. And I'm a fan. If you're a fan of Rocky, like you know how Rocky had that theme music, I Whip Your Head Boy is kind of like that for 50 in his movie. After he's shot, he's trying to recover and get back right, and that's the record he's working on. And when I see that, when I went to the movies to see it in the theater, I was like, yo, this is kind of different to hear the joint in the movie like this. You know what I'm saying? That was a different experience for me. And that check was different.
You know, it's funny. You know, I never looked at it like that. But when you compare the two, you look at Rocky, you look at the theme music when he's getting back on his feet, and then you look at the theme. You look at that theme music right there when 50's getting back on his feet. That is like his Rocky moment, if you want to compare the two. And you can't watch that movie without like looking forward to that part, to hearing that. Like, and I remember I went to the movie theaters to see that, and I remember people got up out their seat. I was at Magic Johnson on 125th, I think, and people got up out their seat like when that joint came on. Like, that's definitely a big placement. That's the toast right there to that one right there. I ain't gonna hold you, King. That's a big vibe, and that lives on forever for sure. Because people will continue to watch that movie and study that movie for decades to come in hip hop when it comes to hip hop, for sure. You know, what's one of the hardest lessons, right, that you've learned in the industry? You know, it could be from either side that you've been on. What you think is the hardest lesson you learned?
Not knowing what you paperwork.
Right.
You know, one time, and this is real, like I'm used to, you know, when you produce, you do a producer deck. And one time we had did business with this person. So we thought it's the same thing. Like, oh yeah, paperwork, bing, bing, the same thing, yeah. And then we signed, and then get it back to the lawyer. Yo, y'all know y'all signed a little bit of the rights. Oh wait, what? It was just one paper.
Don't give Eminem's no food for
producer.
Tell him to cut that check. Shout out to Bel Air Bamboo, you know the vibes, by the way. You know what I
mean? Yo, the producer deck is in multiple papers. So this particular time, we was given like a one-sheeter. He's like, oh yeah, like yeah, you know, we
Standard.
thought this was like, you know, yeah. No, we just thought like, yo, like an agreement that they're gonna get the track or whatever. And by the time we got to my lawyer, he was like, yo, y'all know y'all signed some of the rights of it off. What? It was the one sheet. It wasn't the deck. So I learned, get a lawyer, everything. It's critical. That joint could be a half a piece of paper. You better have somebody look at it because somebody will try and get you, man.
Yeah, that's the business.
Fact.
That's the business, but you know, you learn and you learn how to do business. You know, so all aspiring producers out there, artists out there, you hearing it. You're hearing it first. Free game, you know what I mean? Free game tonight on the FloWay Show. Ron, thank you for joining me, my brother. The last question I always ask everyone is, what do you want your legacy to be? You know what I mean? 30, 40, 50 years from now, what do you want the legacy of Ron Browz to be? You know, people.
Just one of the greats. You know, when you mention the Dre's, you mention the Swisses, the Timberlands. You mentioned me as one of the greats as well.
Deserve that. You know, it's crazy because when I look at like New York, so New York, and you know, people like, you know, they move on, they go to other places and different things like that, and they tap in and they switch up their sound, their frequencies to adapt to that environment. But you've always been so New York, and I think every artist who's came out maybe like in the past 10 to 15 years probably has a Ron Browz record. Like from New York, you know what I mean? Like
yeah. Everybody just waiting for the Ron Browz and Jay-Z record.
Ether, for the record, Ether did not mess that up.
Wait for this Ron Browz record.
Frequency. We're going to speak that into existence. King, once again, man, I appreciate you for joining me. Everyone, thank y'all for tuning into the conversation. If you missed any part of the conversation with your man, the Ether Boy, Mr. Pop Champagne, Ron Browz, you can check it out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes. You know the vibes. That Gotta Move On remix, all right? Diddy, produced by Ron Browz, Young Miami, Ashanti, The Voice of the City, Will Tracks, Bryson Tiller. It's coming soon. You're hearing it on the airways, but it's coming to those platforms soon. That video's coming soon. Y'all seen how good Ashanti looked, and that just standing next to Ron Browz. I was like, dang. He's like, what?
This is mad, man.
Son? It's safe to say that the Diddy check cleared, okay? It's safe to say. Thank you, my brother. I'll talk to you soon, man. Be safe. Hey, peace. Be safe on that road, man.